Hi Flosstube, my name is Marty and welcome to my channel Triple M Stitching. Today is Saturday, October 23rd, and I am super excited to be back filming another Flosstube and to be able to spend some time with you today. Thank you so much for choosing my video to watch, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed recently and left the sweetest comments. I read all of them and I am very grateful. I also wanted to say some thank yous to people who have shouted me out in their videos. I'm going to pull up a list so I don't forget anybody. So thank you to Shelby from Stitches by Shelby for your kind words, and Kirsten from 23 Flavors of Stitching, and Lovin' Stitchin' and OG Stitchery gave me a shout out also, and I'm so grateful. Also, the Bougie Stitchers found my video or my 3 videos I have so far, and we're kind of cracking up and got a kick out of the fact that I live in a frat house, which same. And I really enjoyed exploring your channel, and I saw you're going to be at Weekend A StitchCon, and we definitely need to meet up and wear matching t-shirts and all the things. So just thank you to everyone. I'm shocked that anyone subscribed. I am just so grateful to have so many friends that I have made, both coming over from Instagram and new friends from just here on Flosstube. And if you come from someone's channel and they shouted me out and that prompted you to come here, please let me know so I can give them a thank you and subscribe to their channel if the YouTube algorithm has not connected us yet. So in this video, what you can expect is some works in progress updates, a new start, a little bit of shopping / haul, and I'm going to show my previously finished stitches that I have lovingly stored in this bag. And so I will go through some of the finishes I have done that I've worked on since we've lived here. So they're finishes from August 2020 until present that I have not fully finished in a frame or anything. I do have some of those, but these are just the ones that are waiting their turn. And yeah, that's what you can expect from me. I might talk a little bit about books at the end also, if we have time. But let's jump into works in progress. I have been still just plugging away at my stitch-alongs. I first finished up working on the Maple Lane Club stitch-along from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I had started Clue 1 last video. Here is what their cover photo looks like. And I have finished that clue. Where'd I put it? Here it is. I ran out of cute project bags, so we are in these beautiful Amazon bags. I'm using all the called for colors, which is a mix of DMC and 4 classic colorworks, glamorously held on this raggedy floss roll or ring, but they are amazing. And here is my finish of Clue 1. There is a cute little barista who's no longer a floating head. They have a tree, and you can see here in the tree that there's like some cutout bits that we intentionally didn't stitch. And so that makes me excited for what Clue 2, or whatever the clue that goes here, is going to hold, because something fun, I'm sure, is going to fit all up in those little holes. I'm working on the called for fabric, and this needle minder was released for the stitch along. It's a little trolley ticket. Fun fact about me, I weirdly love trolleys. So when I saw this, I kind of freaked out because their like sneak peek was a graphic that they had drawn of a trolley, and they said there's going to be a trolley in this pattern. I once made my husband and our friend wait like 45 minutes to ride a trolley to an event that we could have walked to in 10 minutes. But yeah, at Disney World, anything, love trolleys. Weird fun fact about me. But yeah, so this piece was like made for me. So after that finished up, the next clue in the, let me read this or I will not say it correctly. Lakeside Needlecraft Christmas Tweetings Wreath Stitch Along, designed by Doreen Jones. It was released. The first part was this top bird, and the second part was this bird over here. And I started that and was able to finish it up. I love this stitch along so much. Like I've said, I did a a Doreen Jones wreath. Sal, in the past. No disrespect, Doreen Jones. I love you. And here is my finish for now. I love this bird. They are so fabulous. They use like all the colors in the chart are in this bird, except for the green in the leaves. But yeah, very non-traditional Christmas colors, but I think it works really well. And I love the half-stitch background that just makes this really saturated and heavily backstitched, or these elements that have, you know, extreme colors and hard, heavy backstitching. It just pops right off this half-stitch background. And yeah, I am so excited for the next part to come out. It comes out on, I think, October 30th. And so I'm really looking forward to that. This grime guard and my previous one was from Crab Shack Stitchery on Etsy, and this cute penguin is from Top Knot Stitcher. I really looked forward to the backstitching on this one. I don't think I've ever looked forward to backstitching before, so maybe I'm a changed person and I just love backstitching now. But yeah, I will eagerly await October 30th for the next clue. Sorry if you can hear yelling. There's frat guys out in the hallway. And then after that, after I finished up that clue, I didn't have any more stitch-alongs waiting for me to catch up on them, and so I decided to have a new start. I had been talking with Shelby from Stitches by Shelby about maybe doing like a 90 days of no new starts for the first 90 days of 2022. I'm not sure how that will play out in the end. I love the idea. I think I just need to plan a little bit more. But I wanted to go ahead and start some things for that time, so I'm not only working on my older whips. I have some like newer ones to keep it interesting. I'll probably dedicate maybe my next video to talking about my plans for that challenge. But until then, I started His Name is Jesus by Joyful Expressions. It is a free chart if you sign up for their needlework. Here is the cover photo. They have a cover photo in blue and in like red and pink. So I decided to do kind of my own blue conversion. If you watched my last video in the shopping haul section, I showed a pack of Victorian Motto blues that I bought from her Etsy shop. It came with 5 and I had to narrow it down to 3. Well, I didn't have to, but I thought 3 would work because that's how the pattern is charted. And I ended up narrowing it down to these 3. We have Flag, Colonial Blue Bonnet, and Cobalt. I think they work really well together. This blue is so saturated. I'm going to do the middle big His Name is Jesus motif in this one. And it does have some good variegation that I think will make it look interesting, but not like, you know, streaky or stark. And then these 2 have been working really well for the surrounding words. I knew I didn't want like a stark white, and I knew I didn't want to go over to like an ivory or a cream because I thought that might be too warm. And I didn't want to go to a gray because I thought that might be too gloomy and dark. And so I found this linen, or I think it's a Jobelin, on eBay. It's China Pearl from Witchelt, and it's perfect, in my opinion. It's like not really its own color, but it's not a stark white either. This top part will say Prince of Peace eventually, Messiah and the Way, and then Redeemer will go right here. And so I think I'll work on this today. The only other plan I might have is to work on my nativity scene. And so either this or nativity will come out tonight while my husband and I watch football. Or he watches football and I try to understand. And yeah, I wanted to get all 3 colors on here, so I knew I liked them. So this is the deeper one, the more teal one, and then the medium blue. And I'm loving working on all the different fonts. I love working on letters, but I love how on this piece all the phrases are like there are no 2 phrases next to each other that use the same font kind of thing. And so it's super interesting to stitch. It keeps you really engaged, in my opinion. And yeah, I probably won't work on that one too much more throughout the rest of the year. I'll probably use it as kind of a palette cleanser as I work on whips in the first 90 days of the new year. But again, I'll start laying out those plans, and probably next week in my next video, we'll talk to you about those. So now let's talk about a few stash acquisitions. The first thing I want to show is this stocking my mom bought at a thrift store for my nephew to have at her house for him. He's 4. Or he's 3. He's 3. And she wanted just to have something that he could have that's his for Christmas at her house. And she sent me a picture like, hey, look at all this cool stuff I got at the thrift store. She lives in South Carolina, so we text a lot. And I was like, looking at the picture, and I FaceTimed her, like, immediately, and I was like, show me that stocking, like, hold it up to the camera. She was like, what? I was like, just do it. And it turns out the top of this stocking is Ada. And so I'm going to be able to stitch, my thumb is stuck, I'm going to be able to stitch his name on this white part. There is a stain here, and I think I'm going to try today soaking it maybe in Woolite, or using a Tide pen, and or both, just to make it look a little fresher. But yeah, I'm really excited. Probably just gonna do his name, and then maybe if there's room, it goes all the way around. So on the back, maybe I could do like a little snowman or Santa or something. But yeah, super excited. She got this for $1. She didn't even know. She hasn't crossed it. She didn't even know that this. She thought it was like a white band. She was like, I thought that was kind of weird, but it was $1. I was like, okay. But yeah, so she mailed this to me yesterday, or I got it yesterday. And then my friend and I were killing time in a Michael's, which is excellent place to kill time. And I found this cool, it's from, I dropped it. Apologies. It's from DMC Charles Craft. It's printed Ada. Sorry, it's really metallic. And I'd never seen this before at any like big craft store. It's this Ada that's like pink and violet and blue, and the modeling goes back and forth really subtly, which I like. Not super like noticeable holes and splotches in the colors. I haven't unrolled it before, but they had this color, and they had like an orange with some more orangey and yellows, and then they had like blues and greens, and I regret not getting all of them. So next time anywhere near Michael's, I will be getting all of them. They're 14 count Ada. They are white on the back. And yeah, I don't have anything in mind for this piece, but it was so interesting that I had a coupon at Michael's, so amazing. I know Fuzzy Fox Designs has like some birds, like just individual different species of birds, and I think that they would look really good on kind of a subtle background like that, but that also had some color. Next are 2 charts that I got at Needlework Emporium in Bethesda, Maryland. I found out about this event from Amanda May from Artist Design, from her channel and her Instagram. She posted that she was going to be a vendor there. And I looked it up. It was only 25 minutes away from me. I was like, I have to go. I had to meet Amanda May and find some of her amazing designs. And so it was so lovely meeting her. She chatted with me and my husband for a while about Maryland and cross-stitching and everything, and it was a joy to meet you. Thank you for recognizing me from Instagram if you happen to ever watch this. But first I got Destination North Pole Earth. I love like the non-traditional Christmas colors. I love this fabric. The chart says it's just a hand-dyed deep purple and blue 14 count Ada, so I think maybe she dyed it. I would love to maybe either replicate this myself or find something similar, so if you ever come across anything this color, let me know. But yeah, super cute ornament. And then I got the 3rd in her Chesapeake Bay Treasure series, which is Island Ponies. I have done the first in this series, which is a blue crab, and I'll show that in my next section of the video. And then I have the second kit, which is blue heron, not started yet. But yeah, a full kit. I love the backing fabric. This hand-dyed green 18 count Ada, the over-dyed brown silk. It comes with a needle and this little horse charm. And this like leafy vine trim goes around the edge of the pillow. And Amanda May told me that it's kind of stiff, kind of like how like Ada can be kind of crunchy out of the package, but soaking it in water helps like loosen it up a little bit, which I think is also true for Ada. So good tip from her. And then I'm a member of the Stash Unloading group on Facebook, and they have like an in search of post where you can post things you're looking for, fabric or threads or charts. And I had seen this chart on Two Martini Stitcher's channel, and I knew it was an out of print memorabilia and it was kind of a long shot, but I popped in search of comment, and a super kind lady offered to send me hers for no charge because the pattern was heavily highlighted, which is true. I opened it up and it is like full of pink, but all the symbols are still, readable. So this is Touching the Autumn Sky from Mirabilia, and I was so grateful that she was willing to part with it. Again, it's definitely like probably one of the first releases of this chart, so the paper I can tell is a little older. But I think what I'm going to do is take it to our university library. They have like a really big scanner machine to scan like big old books on and stuff. And so I think I'm going to try and scan it in because I'm a little worried about the paper integrity holding up. And then if I have it digitally, I think I'll be a lot more comfortable having it that way. If I ever come across this chart that's not fully highlighted and kind of falling apart for a reasonable price, I will definitely buy it. But for now, I'm super grateful because I know this can go for a lot of money that I am not willing to spend. So yeah, so excited. I love the blue fabric on that one. Last chart is, I think I mentioned in my other video, I have been getting more into the fancy ladies, and this was on Sarah Stitchin' Mommy's channel. Or she was doing different letters from this series, but this is the Letters from Nora series. This is the letter M Fairy. And I love the design, but I had heard on Flosstube and on Facebook that some of the Hoffman reprinted versions of the Mira's and Nora's leave some quality to be desired, I think. And that is true for this one. It is not on the original cardstock, it's just on copier paper. Which I don't mind copier paper, but the chart is very, in my opinion, very hard to read. It's rather blurry, and there are some half stitches that connect with the back stitch and the wings, and I almost can't determine the symbols for those. It's just very blurry and faint, and so I might try and like scan this in and up the saturation on it or something. But if anyone is selling the original cardstock version of this chart, or sees it anywhere, please let me know, because I really want to stitch it. And I think parts of the letter in the body, I could probably get away with this chart, but the wings, I don't know. And yeah, I wish Hoffman would print it on cardstock with like a little bit higher copy quality. I feel bad like criticizing them, but yeah, I just wasn't expecting it to be so hard to read. But excited to try nonetheless, I guess. So that's it for stash acquisitions. Now I'm going to move into finished stitches that I have done since we moved here to this frat house in Maryland in August of 2020. I don't fully finish a lot of things because I don't have the space to display them and or store them as fully finishes, but I have finished things, and I do have a lot of ideas on how I want to eventually finish them. And so, yeah, I'm keeping them all very ceremoniously in this bag. But I do have, like I said, ideas in mind, and I do have some fully finished objects that I have done since we've been here. I wanted to have some more seasonal pieces for like Easter and Christmas and Thanksgiving because I didn't have any decor like that when we first got married. And so I did a few of those, but I got like one for each holiday done, and then I stopped FFOing things because I just didn't know where to put it. I do have in our bedroom, and I can do a tour of it one day, like a cross-stitch wall that I have all my hoop finishes on. So if it's something that I don't really know what to do with, and I don't have like a thing in mind, I'll just pop it in a hoop, and I'll put it on that wall, and I love it. And I'll try and, it's kind of hard to film, but I'll try and get a clip of it one day and include that in a future Flosstube if people want to see that. But yeah, so this is everything else. Things that weren't seasonal, that I couldn't FFO, and I couldn't put on my wall. So let's get going. This finish you will probably recognize if you've watched my last couple videos. It is Autumn Doodles. I finished this really recently and showed it on my first two videos. And yeah, I can't wait to have this in our house next year. Next is a freebie design from Pinker and Punkin Quilting. I think that's how you say it correctly. If you go to my Instagram post that has this design on it, I linked her account. But I did this in one day, super quick, on a scrap. And I have a few other charts that have like bee themed, little like small charts. I think I want to do like a tiered tray with bee themed items on it. Again, one day. That'll be the recurring theme. This I actually could fully finish and hang it up in our apartment. There's like a little tiny wall that leads into our bathroom, and I think I want to put this on there. Oh. Upside down. This is Please Wash Your Hands from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. It is a freebie with their newsletter. This is on just 14 count Navy Aida, probably from 123 Stitch, with the called for colors, just 3 colors. And this will fit in a 7-inch hoop. I just need to get one. And hoop finishes are fairly quick, and I will get this up near our bathroom hopefully soon. Next is my finish of the first Chesapeake Bay Treasure series from Amanda May. This is the Blue Crab, and here's the chart cover. I don't have any other charts in here, but I have this one for some reason. And here is my finish. It is upside down again. And I love the hand-dyed Aida. It's 18 count with over-dyed silk, and so you just use one strand, and the variegation's awesome, and the coverage is awesome, and the stitches look nice and neat because it's just 1/1 on 18 count. I love, everything about this. I worked on this when we went to our family's mountain house for the 4th of July. So I did a lot of stitching on it there, and then I finished it up when we got back. So I love that memory with it. I know Misfit Designs was talking about getting sentimental about her pieces, and I do the exact same thing. And she included like a little scrap of the Aida to stitch the year on and use it to patch the finish, like the scar left when you do a pillow finish, because it comes with the pillow finishing fabric. So super thoughtful to include in the kit. And I can't wait to stitch the Blue Heron and the Island Ponies. Next is my first and so far only Prairie Schooler. I think this is 2019 Santa, but it might be 2020 Santa. It's one or the other. And it is North Wind with these cute little bunnies holding on for dear life. And yeah, I love the design. This is 14 count Aida. Probably something from Hobby Lobby. But yeah, I love this finish, and I hope to do this as a flat fold, actually. I'm going to pause, and I'll be right back. Hi, okay, I had to pause really quick, but I'm back. I just showed you my Prairie Schooler, and let's find the next finish. Okay, this was a Stitch Madness, or Stitchy March Madness start. The Steel City Stitchers hosted that event. This is by the Cozy Stitching Corner on Etsy and Instagram. They spell it C-O-S-Y, Cozy Stitching Corner. This is individual pastries from, I think they did like a big pastry stitch along, and then they released the individual parts. You can buy for like a couple dollars. And so I just picked my 4 favorite and did it on this cute polka dot fabric. You have a muffin, a pie, a scone, a meringue. And I think I want to finish this just on like a wooden board. And one day when we have a kitchen, put it near like my KitchenAid mixer. I think that'd be cute. So super fun, super quick too. All right. This is from the Traveling Humbug, which is like a out of print and bent creek chart that goes around. Different people have it and send it off to each other. I sent mine to Paper Crane Stitches. My inspiration for my humbug was a humbug that found the Christmas spirit. So the charted bug is kind of like browns and grays and kind of gloomy and like frowning because he's a humbug. But I hope my humbug found the Christmas spirit and now is happy. So I used some leftover beads from Mill Hill Kits to make Christmas lights behind him. And I love the mint green and white and fuchsia and pink color scheme that sometimes you see in like vintage or vintage inspired Christmas decor. So yeah, those are my inspirations for that, and I used up some fancy floss I had, like little remnants and stuff. So yeah, he's happy, and he will one day become an ornament. This was a cross-stitch camp piece. This is also by Doreen Jones, one of my favorite designers, if you can't tell. This was from a cross-stitch magazine that I read and access on Libby, the app through my public library. I don't remember the exact edition, but I think it's on my Instagram, and if you want to know, just send me a message or a comment, and I'll look it up on my Instagram. But it's called Lazy Days, and it's a couple walking through a park or a trail, and my husband and I like to go on walks together, and I thought this would be perfect. I want to like frame it in a frame and then put it like on a floating picture ledge with a picture of he and I. So I have a vision for how this will go one day. But yeah, again, a lot of backstitching on this one, and I changed some of the dirt colors up to make it show up better on my fabric, but it was a called for color. I just swapped it out for a darker one that was also called for. But yeah, there's another one in this Lazy Days chart in the magazine. I think it was a girl throwing like a ball to a dog. We don't have a dog, so I didn't do that one, but it was really cute too. All right, this one was one, okay, I actually didn't complete this one while we were living here. I completed this when the pandemic first started and we first started not leaving our houses. It is a freebie from a designer that I now forget. Again, I could look it up on Instagram if you're curious. I'm happy to do that. But it is this cute little hedgehog. It was one of the Be Well and Stitch freebies with his plants and his slippers and his tea and floss. And it was perfect. And I had this really long, skinny remnant that I stitched it on. Not in a good spot, right in the middle. But, yeah, super fun, super cute. Reminds me of that time that we were quarantining together. All right, two more, and they are the biggest ones in here. This is Loved by You from Hello from Liz Matthews. I'm hoping to be able to get this in. So, pardon the wrinkles. This is one of her like typography charts. I stitched it on Fabric Flare whitewash board. It's an even weave and 32 count. And I want to frame this and hang it up with some of our wedding photos that we have already hanging up on a small wall. And I also have Your Heart and My Heart Are Very Old Friends by her as a whip that I want to get done in 2022 and frame them like in matching frames and put them up together because they'll be on the same fabric with the same floss and everything. The floss, I believe, it's a variegated DMC. I think it's 4100. So that was really fun to stitch, and it's big, but it went pretty fast because it was letters. And then last but not least, this was the Chinese Zodiac Sao from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. It was last year's year-long stitch-along, and I did it with everything called for. I bought the kit. Here's my finish. I love this Sao so much. It has beautiful colors. It has gold sparkly thread. It has intricate lace, and the center medallion was a lot of counting, but it came out so well. My husband spent a year teaching in China and has studied abroad there, and so it was really fun to be able to like learn about the different zodiac symbols. Like as the chart came out, they would include information about kind of the background behind this knot, like the fabric knotting that would result in a piece looking like this. And yeah, it was super interesting to read everything they had to say. This piece definitely means a lot to me because I stitched on it in a lot of places. I started it around or during lockdown. I worked on it after our wedding when we were at the beach in the mountains when we moved here. So yeah, it came a lot of places with me, and so because of that, it means a lot to me. But again, not framed. I might want to get this one professionally framed because it's so square. I don't want it to look... I don't know if I could frame something so square so well. But yeah, so that is my last unfinished or unfully finished object. My bag is empty. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch today and going through all my finishes with me. It was really fun to pull them out and see and remember all the inspiration I have for them. And yeah, I hope you have a great week. I am going to talk about books for a little bit, so if you're interested in that, I will keep going. But if you're not, have a great week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. So if you have watched my past videos, you know that I am going through the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. Let's see. I don't know which one I had finished when I talked to you last, but I am now on Queen of Shadows. And I'm really liking this series. The last book, Heir of Fire, and this book, Queen of Shadows, as well as the other ones, but I noticed it stuck out to me a lot in the last two, was how each chapter was like a different person's perspective. It's not told in the first person, it's the third person, but each chapter you're like visiting different characters in different parts of the world doing different things, and so I really enjoy like flipping that kind of change of perspectives, because I would get really into one chapter and it would end and it would go back to a different character somewhere else, and I was like, oh yeah, them, like what are they okay, like what are they doing? And so I'm enjoying the character development and the new characters that are being introduced. I'm kind of stressed because it's like a really high stakes situation that they're in, and so it's a lot. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So if you enjoy fantasy and yeah, young adult novels, I think you would really like it. It's an older series, so I'm sure like tons of people have talked about it already, so I don't think I have anything super novel to contribute, but I do really enjoy the changing of perspectives aspect. It kind of gives you a very well-rounded view of the situation, and you like get to know things as they happen and before other characters, and then it's when they find out, it's interesting to see how they react, even though you already knew that thing had happened or what have you. And yeah, it's just a really interesting way to tell the story, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm gonna keep going with that, and I'll keep you updated on how I feel about the series, but 2 thumbs up so far. I hope everyone has happy stitching and happy reading, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.